Welcome, traveler, to the crossroads of myth and history. Before we begin, let me share a quote from writer and philosopher Mary Renaud, which has stayed with me lately. She says, "Monsters are not born, but made." These words echo the tale of Medusa, a figure whose tragic fate changed the course of mythology forever. Now let's delve into the legend of Medusa and remember to support us. Now let's unravel the enigma of Medusa. Now picture this. You are standing in the heart of Athens, the birthplace of wisdom. Around you are the Acropolis, the Parthenon, the majestic temples that once echoed with the footsteps of philosophers and poets. Your gaze then shifts to a particular temple, the Temple of Athena. Within its sacred walls stands a statue of Athena, the goddess of wisdom and courage. But there's more to this statue than meets the eye. Look closely at Athena's feet. What do you see? Snakes coiled around them. These aren't just any snakes. They are the remnants of Medusa, the Gorgon, a creature whose very name strikes terror into the hearts of mortals. Our journey today takes us deep into the myths and legends of ancient Greece, where gods and mortals intertwined in a delicate balance. Our focus is on Medusa, a figure who embodies both terror and tragedy. Imagine for a moment the most beautiful woman of ancient Greece, admired by gods and mortals alike. Suddenly, her golden locks twist into venomous snakes, her eyes blazing with the power to turn men to stone. This wasn't always her fate. Before becoming a monster, she was simply a mortal woman named Medusa. To understand why Athena condemned her, we must explore the events that led to her downfall. But why would the goddess of wisdom punish a mortal woman so cruelly? Was Medusa's fate predetermined, or were the gods merely testing her strength? These questions have echoed through the ages, inspiring countless works of art and literature. Let's try to find the answer together. But first, allow me to introduce myself. I am your guide to the hidden realms, where gods and monsters once roamed. I welcome you to join me each week on this channel as we unravel the secrets of classical mythology. Together, we will explore tales of love and loss, bravery and betrayal, and everything in between. Before we dive into the world of ancient myths, let me ask you a question. What do you think? Why did Athena curse Medusa? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective before we continue. And don't forget to subscribe to be part of our community. Medusa wasn't always a monster. In fact, she began her life as a beautiful mortal woman. Her story, however, becomes entwined with the gods when she catches the eye of Poseidon, the ruler of the seas. Poseidon, known for his irresistible desire, sets his sights on Medusa, and no mortal could resist the advances of a god. In this case, the consequences would be nothing short of disastrous. One day, Poseidon visits Medusa in the Temple of Athena, a place dedicated to the goddess of wisdom and strategy. It's within these sacred walls that the fateful encounter occurs. The details vary in different accounts, but the outcome remains the same. Poseidon violates Medusa, defiling the sanctity of the temple. This act of desecration would have grave repercussions, not just for Medusa, but for the entire mythological landscape. So why does Athena turn her wrath toward Medusa rather than Poseidon, the perpetrator? Some believe that Athena, fiercely protective of her domain, is angered by the violation of her temple. Others suggest that she feels threatened by Medusa's beauty, fearing that it eclipses her own divine allure. Regardless of the motivation, the consequences are severe. Athena transforms Medusa's flowing locks into writhing snakes and imbues her gaze with the power to petrify those who behold it. In Greek mythology, the eyes are often seen as the windows to the soul. By changing Medusa's eyes, Athena strips her of her humanity, turning her into a creature devoid of empathy or reason. This transformation not only physically alters Medusa, but also serves as a metaphor for the loss of her identity and autonomy. With her new reptilian features, Medusa becomes an embodiment of primal fear. The sight of snakes evokes terror, while the petrifying gaze adds an element of helplessness. Medusa is no longer in control of her own story. She becomes a cautionary tale, a warning to mortals and goddesses alike. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on the symbolism woven into Medusa's curse. Her snakes, often associated with wisdom and healing, take on a menacing tone, coiling round her head like a crown of thorns. Her petrifying gaze becomes a metaphor for the silencing of women and the dangers of unchecked male desire. Through Medusa's curse, the myth explores themes of female objectification and the consequences of violating sacred spaces. In ancient Greek society, the violation of a sanctuary like a temple was considered a grave offense. The curse placed upon Medusa reflects the importance of boundaries and the repercussions of crossing them. Her punishment serves as a reminder of the societal taboos surrounding female sexuality and the patriarchal structures that sought to control it. Medusa's existence challenges the traditional narrative often portrayed in myths, where women are passive recipients of divine favor or punishment. Instead, she exhibits agency and adaptability in the face of adversity. By turning her pain into power, she asserts her dominance over her own narrative, refusing to be defined solely by her monstrous features. In fact, some scholars argue that Medusa represents a form of female empowerment. She utilizes her newfound abilities to protect herself against the advances of unwanted suitors. Her strength lies in her ability to petrify those who dare approach her, highlighting the transformative power of self-defense and resilience. As Medusa navigates her existence, she becomes a symbol of female empowerment, challenging the myth that women are helpless victims. The myth of Medusa reaches a pivotal point with the arrival of Perseus, a hero on a perilous quest. Perseus, armed with divine assistance, sets out to slay Medusa and bring back her severed head as proof of his valor. His quest represents the ultimate test of courage and determination. Perseus's journey to Medusa's lair is fraught with danger. He must navigate treacherous landscapes and overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. This arduous path symbolizes not only the physical challenges he faces, but also the psychological toll of confronting a creature as formidable as Medusa. When Perseus finally locates Medusa, he finds her in a state of tranquility. She is either asleep or in a moment of vulnerability, allowing for a rare glimpse into her humanity. However, he knows that her slumber is temporary, and that soon her horrifying features will awaken. Perseus's confrontation with Medusa showcases both his bravery and respect for his quarry. He understands the gravity of his task and the potential consequences of his actions. His decision to strike when she is vulnerable demonstrates a sense of fairness and sportsmanship, acknowledging Medusa's strength and agency. In the end, Perseus emerges victorious, severing Medusa's head and ending her reign of terror. But this victory is not without its complexities. Medusa's head, even after her demise, retains its power to petrify onlookers. This aspect of her being emphasizes the enduring impact of her curse and the lasting consequences of her existence. The birth of Pegasus from Medusa's blood symbolizes the triumph of beauty and freedom over oppression and constraint. The winged horse represents the transcendent power of creativity and imagination, emerging from the darkest depths of Medusa's suffering. This detail underscores the paradoxical nature of Medusa's character. Despite being cursed and ultimately slain, she leaves behind a legacy of inspiration and liberation. The myth of Medusa raises profound questions about the nature of beauty, the consequences of objectification, and the complexities of female empowerment. Her story challenges conventional notions of heroism and villainy, inviting us to examine the biases and perspectives embedded in ancient narratives. Why did Athena curse Medusa? Was it solely due to the desecration of her temple, or did jealousy play a role? How does Medusa's curse symbolize the silencing and objectification of women in patriarchal societies? And what does the birth of Pegasus signify in terms of hope and resilience in the face of oppression? These questions encourage us to engage with the text on a deeper level, considering the socio-cultural context and the lasting impact of such stories. Medusa's image continues to resonate throughout history, evolving into a symbol of female empowerment and resistance against oppressive forces. She challenges us to confront the biases of traditional storytelling and to recognize the complexity of her character. If you find yourself standing in the shadow of Athena's temple, contemplating the statue of Medusa, consider this. Would you see her as a monstrous villain or a tragic victim? How does her story challenge your own perspectives and biases? And remember, it's not just about Medusa. It's about recognizing the strength and resilience of all women who have faced similar struggles and emerged even stronger. What do you think? Was Medusa a monster or a victim of circumstance? Join the conversation by sharing your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe to be part of our community. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the timeless tales of ancient Greece. Until next time, may your path be filled with wisdom, courage, and a deep appreciation for the complexities of the human experience.